Yes, it is finally time. I finished my most recent sketchbook, which means it is time for another sketchbook tour and also a special announcement that's going to be hidden in this video. Hello. So, I am presenting you with the long-awaited sketchbook tour of my 10th completed sketchbook. This is something that I know a lot of you have been waiting for, and it's something that I'm really excited to share. I'm really happy with the way that this sketchbook turned out. I think that I made really good progress in it, and I really like a lot of the drawings in it, and I have such an attachment to this sketchbook, and a part of me is sad to see it go, but also I'm ready to move on, you know what I mean? So I hope that you enjoy this, and I'm not going to blabber on too much because I know you guys are excited to see what's in here. Starting with the cover though, it's a little bit glaring because of the light above me, but I actually drew this in a video. I will have that linked somewhere for you guys to watch if you're interested. And we are getting, that's not the first page. We are getting to the first page. I started this sketchbook in November 18th of 2018, and I finished it the night before filming this, so it has been... It has been 5 months since I started this sketchbook, and I think you could tell by the way this first page looks. I have made a lot of improvement. This drawing is 5 months old, and I kind of hate it. I think I like the drawing itself, but I hate the watercolor. It's, let's just move on. I have these goals in the beginning of my sketchbook. I have some sketches of Aurora because ever since the first page, I remember when I first drew it, I was really happy with the way that turned out, so I wanted to keep sketching her. So these are just some really rough stuff. Here is just a big mishmash of whatever the fuck. This was when I was first starting to use paint markers. These were my dad's Sharpie paint markers, and then later on I get Poscas. Moving on, we have some Andy and Luca, totally not being in love, they're not dating. And then some sketches of Andy. This was just with some really cheap-ass water-based markers that I got at Target for like 50 cents. And then a bunch of sketches of Andy, nothing new. Definitely nothing new, because they're still not dating. This is actually my dad's kitchen. I was sitting at his dining room table and then looking at his kitchen, and then I added Sawyer and Kennedy Quinn. I still really like this drawing. I think it's quite cute. Here's some webcomic characters. This jackalope girl, I said her name is Noe, and then this is the girl who you guys aren't even supposed to know about yet, so I'm not going to share her name. But I just wanted to draw them because they're very cute. I love them. Here I drew a shiny Mudbray because if this is the first video you're seeing of me, I am a very big Pokemon fan. And I did my first ever shiny hunt, and I was shiny hunting for a Mudbray. It wasn't full odds, I was using a shiny charm, and I was also SOS chaining. But I just really wanted a shiny Mudbray because I love this little guy, and so I was kind of sketching while I was hunting to make the time go by a little bit faster. And then I have a page of Andy. I drew this on Thanksgiving, and I posted it to Instagram because you guys have all of my uwus. And then I have another little sketch of Andy because, you know, this is my sketchbook, it's full of Andy. I have a page of Sawyer. I really like the facial expressions he has here. I think that they're very Sawyer. And then this is one of my Pokemon trainer OCs named Siege. I have a whole video about why I make a bunch of Pokemon OCs. I'll have that linked in the iCard if you're interested in checking that out. But he's the reason that I wanted a shiny Mudbray because his partner Pokemon is a Mudbray, and I thought that it would be really cute. So I hunted for it in my Pokemon Moon, and then I transferred the shiny Mudbray over to Ultra Moon because that's the game that he's based off of. And overall, I still really like this drawing. I think it's kind of cute. This page is nothing fancy. This is just a bit of a messy page. This is a page that I kind of gave up on. These are my OCs, Mabel, Sawyer, and Cairo. And then this, I was sitting at a cafe back in Buffalo because I went to visit, and I was sitting with my friend, and he likes to make art, and so I was kind of helping him, kind of showing him how I make art, which I do want to stress. You can read this and see it if you want and use this, but I want to say that this isn't the way to make art. I even told him that, like, this is just how I make art, and that's just to help push him along until he can find his own thing. Here we have more friendship stuff. So this is my OC Arrow, and then that's my friend's OC Lewis, and then that's friend. Me and this friend, alright, this is my absolute best friend. If you're watching this, I love you and I adore you. But also, we started this kind of tradition, I guess, where whenever we see each other, we go to Target. We would walk to Target, usually buy some Pokemon cards. And then we would go grab lunch at one of the places around the corner, and we would sit there, eat lunch, draw, and open Pokemon cards. And it was such a fun time, and this is my absolute most bestest friend in the entire world. And so I drew things that happened that day. This is a page of Rory. I actually sketched this for my Rory video, but I ended up not needing the extra footage, so I just kind of scrapped it. And then this is when I hit 700 subscribers. Oh boy. I remember being so excited when I hit 700 subscribers, and now that seems so far away. Here's the page I have to rotate. Woo! This is more of my OCs. I haven't made videos on them yet, but I'm really excited to make videos on them. They're honestly just some of my favorite OCs, and I never draw them as much as I should. That is Milo, that is Bishop, and that is Aspen, and I love them. And I really like the way that this background turned out. Looking back on this background, there are definitely some like perspective issues and stuff like that, but I still think it holds up pretty well, and I remember being super proud of it when I first finished it. Oh boy. This is when I first watched She-Ra, and I adored Catra. She is adorable and I love her. She is my precious furry. And I just thought that she was really cool. She's definitely my favorite character. And as of filming this, I'm not sure if season 2 is out. It might be out by the time I'm posting this, I'm not sure, but I'm really excited for it, and I'm really excited to see where her character goes. Oh, I love this spread. I really like this spread. This is of another part of my dad's house because a little while ago Are you drinking water right now? Thank you. A little while ago, kind of like at the start of this sketchbook, I flew back up to New York to just spend some time there, and I was there for about a month, and I was staying with my dad, and so here I was sitting on his couch, and I drew this little section of his house, and I'm quite happy with how that turned out. I have some sketches of Mabel, which I of course love how they turned out. I love drawing Mabel because she just always looks so cute, and I love this one, and I really like this boop. And then here we have a bit of like a random page. These are two of my webcomic characters. If you are new here, I am currently working on a webcomic. It is not posted yet, but feel free to subscribe for updates and also follow me on Instagram, which is where I'll probably be posting most of the updates. But that is Delaney, he is my sassy vampire prince, and that is Lo, he is my angsty furry. In case you didn't know. And then this is one of my OCs, Aurora, and then Jeremy, who were actually on the first page. And I remember really liking this, but looking back, there are definitely some issues. One thing that I still really need to work on is like this part of the face, because I need to work on ears, and then I need to work on how the cheekbone jaw place meets with this part of the face. It's a little bit rough and I don't really like it all that much, but this was with watercolor. And this sketchbook can hold up watercolor pretty well, but that's only if you're doing for a more simple thing, because I tried layering, and then after like 3 layers, it really starts to just tear away at the paper. But it handles everything else really nice. Here I was working on more background stuff. I kind of designed what I pictured to be Andy's bedroom, and Bugbot and Rad Shark are slowly invading every single background piece that I make. They weren't in this one, but there's a little Bugbot right there. Something that you'll see every now and again in my background pictures is this thing called In the Ballroom, which is pretty much a fake band name that I made up to just put in my backgrounds because I have some characters who really like music. Andy actually has music as their hobby, and so they will probably have like music posters in the background of their room and stuff. So I just said In the Ballroom, which may or may not be inspired by Panic at the Disco, that I just kind of made up so I can just doodle it. Here's another background piece. I think this one was entirely for my head, so there are some issues, like this window isn't quite right if you really look at it. There's another Bugbot and then Mabel. I still really like this one. I think it's quite cute. We have a sketch of Rory, and then down here we have sketches of Wendy and Shelia, who are 2 characters from Fairy Tail. I really like that show, so I was just drawing some of them. They're 2 of my favorite characters to draw. If you watched my last sketchbook tour, you saw a sneak peek of this page. This is the, I guess, like, teaser page that I kind of showed for this sketchbook. It is Heather's. I'm a little disappointed with how JD turned out because it just turned out a little bit too muddy, but I still think it's really fun. Here we have more She-Ra sketches. We have Glimmer and Bow, and then we have some really rough sketches of Adora kind of going like whoosh. Here is a sketch of me saying thank you for 800 subscribers. And then just some more drawings of me. I drew me with these giant pair of sweatpants that I have. They're literally, this is literally what they look like when I wear them. They're so giant, but they're so comfy. And then down here, I was obsessed for a solid minute of the song Baby by Clean Bandit. It's, oh yeah. Oh boy, we have a bunch of Rorys. This was when I was going through like a really weird, I don't even know what to call it. I go through a lot of ups and downs in this sketchbook, and I think on pages like this you could definitely see it. I drew Rory, who accidentally looks high, but she's not. She doesn't do drugs. It's just the way that I sketched it out with the marker. But yeah, these are just a bunch of Rorys. This is the only one that I made in this part of my life that I'm actually like happy with. And then the rest, I think that this sums it up quite well. Another really messy page. This is when I was hanging out with my best friend again, and we went through like the different generations of Pokemon, and then for each generation we would randomly pick a Pokemon for the other person to draw. So these are the ones that my friend picked for me, plus a really rough sketch because I don't even remember what I was doing there. And next we have this. Oh. I mean, you know, sometimes it just be like that sometimes. This character, I don't know who she is, but she doesn't have a name, but I want to use her design for something, specifically this one and not really the wintry one, because I really like the way that this turned out. This was stuff that I got for Christmas. I got these Tombow brush markers. I really like using them to add splashes of color in my sketchbook. I love using them in different ways. Here I use them to color an illustration. Here and here I use them to sketch, and also here. And then these are just the swatches of the different palettes that I got. And also I got this sticker, which was on one of my Christmas presents, because normally I would help my mom wrap Christmas presents, but since I was out of town at that time, my sister was helping, and she wrote, "To Oil from Santa." So my name is Oil now. And here is where I was dying. Well, first of all, I was playing Let's Go Eevee with my sister, and these are some of the Pokemon that we caught, and we named them this. But this was when my channel kind of blew up. And I made the digital version of this, the final version. It's over on my Instagram, and I'll put a picture of it here. I kind of just threw Tombow brush markers over it to make it a little nicer to look at in my sketchbook, but I did finish this digitally. And this was around the end of December. These were the big milestones that I hit, and I just want to say that when my channel blew up a little bit, I was, you know, I was kind of internally screaming the entire time that was happening, so thank you guys so, so much. And here, first of all, Coral. She's my reverse mermaid. She's very hot, I know. And then this is Arietta. She is a redesign of an old character, and I think this is the first time you guys are seeing this version of her. So there she is. She's quite cute. I still like her. She's just my super anime weeb character, which explains the really long Hatsune Miku pigtails. And then we have some sketches of Kairu and Sawyer being not in love, because I love making my characters not at all in love. Apparently. I guess it's an addiction of mine. Here are me and my friends' characters again. That's Arrow and Lewis. And then this I was going to make a full background, but I gave up, and I wrote, "It really do be like that sometimes," because you know what? It really do, in fact, be like that sometimes. I do really like this sketch of Arrow still, because I don't know what it is about it. I think that it just captures him very well, and even though he's just standing there, it's got a lot of motion and it's got nice weight to it, and I really like it. Here I was planning my Meet the Artist video, which I will have linked up in the iCard if you're interested in that. Yeah, here I was coming up with thumbnails and the things that I would include. And here is the finished thingamabob. Oh, I forgot about this. Well, this is awkward. What I normally do in my sketchbooks is whenever there's a page that I use marker on, I usually tape something on the other side, and in this case it was a piece of cardstock, but this tape sucks ass and it doesn't want to stay. I drew some sketches of Gray because he's my favorite character and I never draw him, so I wanted to draw him more. And then here we have sketches of Loxus, which this I have mixed feelings about, because the drawing itself I like, but it doesn't really look like Loxus and it doesn't really capture him. So I can't tell if it's a success or not. And then this is a picture of Wendy that I messed up on the face, so naturally I did that. This is also when I first got my Posca markers, and I was so obsessed with them. They were like my favorite thing for a while. And we have more Posca stuff. This is a page that I actually gave up on. There's a sketch underneath this. And I kept telling myself I would go back to it, but I never did, so I just taped some stuff in here. Here we have more Arietta. This is also Wispath. This is also Wispath. This is also with Posca. Wow, that was unnecessarily difficult. I kind of regret outlining it because originally it was just like a lineless Posca drawing, but then I went back in and with this black brush pen added some line art, and I really liked the way that it looked without the line art. Like, I still like the way that it looks now, but I think it looked a lot better when it was just line artless. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but you know, what can you do? We have more, or was this the Rory thing? I think this is the page I filmed for the Rory video and didn't end up using. I don't know. It doesn't matter because I never used it, but just some sketches of Rory, and then here was when I was making the video for my sketchbook cover. I was just trying to come up with some ideas, and obviously this is the one that I ended up with. And here we have even more fairy tale. I was obsessed with the Thunder Legion for a solid minute, and I still am, honestly. These were with gouache. I'm still not amazing with gouache. Still trying to figure that out. This is a video that I filmed, this page right here, I filmed for my sketchbook supplies that I was making, and I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. Not entirely happy with the way that this page turned out. I don't know, it's just, there's too much happening, I think, and I don't know, I'm not super satisfied with the way that it turned out. Oh boy, here's my boy August. So I mentioned earlier that I make a lot of Pokemon OCs, and this is the character in that video where I talk about it. He is based off of my Pokemon Let's Go Eevee file, and I literally took this drawing and just slapped it right in the speed paint because I was really happy with the way that this one turned out. This page, I made a little comic because when I was making my Rory video, if you're new here, I make videos about my OCs monthly, and this was when I was making a video about my OC Rory, and so many people comment about pineapple on pizza, and if my OCs like pineapple on pizza. And so I made this little comic, and based off of the first couple panels, I had everyone hella worried that something went horribly wrong. But this was really fun to do. And then some playing cards that I found when I was taking my dog out for a walk, so I just stuck them in here. There are little bits of, I'm not sure if you can see, I think the camera's just cutting it off, but there are these like little pieces of paint, and also up here, because on the next page I painted over it with acrylic paint. Because normally, like I said earlier, I would paste a sheet of paper in there, but I wanted to try something different, and so I took a couple of different colors of acrylic paint. I took like 2 different shades of yellow and then a white. I put different tiny little drops of paint all over this, and then I took a big brush and I just, yeah, like this. And this is something that I actually do later on in this sketchbook quite a bit. Here's doing some figure studies because I need to figure out how to draw butts, so I drew butts. This one down here is my absolute, hold on, I will never draw a better back and butt than this. I love it. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I believe the website I was using was Line of Action, and then this is just a bunch of random feet because I wanted to learn how to draw feet better because I feel like that's one of the parts of my art that's really lacking. This I did with an ink wash because I got some India ink. So I made an ink wash, a foot that I said was ugly, and Bigfoot, apparently. Here's more August. I was obsessed with drawing him for a solid minute because I love him. I really like this sketch, and the Eevee is just adorable. I was obsessed with Posca a lot at this point in my life, as you might be able to tell. Here's another kind of messy page, nothing too fancy. And then this is a drawing of the Supreme Arcanines, or Dallas. He is a Poke YouTuber, and he is a shiny hunter, and this was when he was doing his Spiritomb hunt. I drew this picture of him because he does the, like, dress-ups for some of his hunts, and for Spiritomb he dressed up as Danny Phantom, and he actually like dyed his hair white for it. And I just really liked this hunt. This was one of my favorite hunts that he's ever done, so I had to draw it, and I actually tweeted it at him, and he liked it, and he said the style reminded him of the gorillas. So that's really cool. And then later on that night when he was streaming, he mentioned it, and I'm really happy that he liked it. So Dallas, if you're watching this, that was for you, bud. Doubt he is, but you know. This page I have conflicting emotions about because visually I really like it, but I don't really like the drawings on it. Like, I really like the layout of it, but the drawings themselves are kind of eh. Like this one with Laxus, for example, the legs are supposed to be like foreshortened, but only slightly, and I'm really bad at it, so it just looks like his legs are tiny, and I don't like it at all. And underneath this is actually, you can, wait. Geico. Mom works for Geico, and her boss wanted me to paint the Geico gecko in their office, so he paid me to do that, and I debated like just leaving this page because it was really messy and plain and I didn't like it. And I justified painting over it because it's not something that I would normally put in my sketchbook. But I try to keep like my more messy pages just the way that they are to show that, you know, everyone has their ups and downs. Here's one of my ups. I really like the way that this layout turned out. We have Milo, Bishop, and Aspen again. They fight zombies, which is why there's like zombie stuff written around. They're really fun. I can't wait to share them with you guys. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I celebrate my characters' birthdays over there, and this was for Mabel's birthday. Her birthday's on Valentine's Day, which is why it's like really pink and stuff, and this is one of my favorite backgrounds that I've ever done. First of all, Bug Bot and Rat Shark again invading it. And another thing, no one noticed that Andy, Luca, and Rory are in the background of this. Like, no one noticed that they're in the window. They're right there, see? We have this drawing of Mabel, which I really like this one too. I think it's such a nice sketch. I draw a lot of Mabel. She's like one of my favorites. I have a little bit more of a messy page. We have some really rough sketches. This was definitely one of my downs, which, I mean, you can see how I went from a really good place to a really bad place in terms of art. So don't feel bad if that happens to you, but, you know, it'd be like that sometimes. Here we have some swatches when I did the 3 marker challenge. Here's just a page of thumbnails. The first one is for the 3 marker challenge. This next row is for the video I did of Axel from Kingdom Hearts. And then this one down here is for Mabel's video. Here's another kind of page. We have another drawing of Mabel, which is from one of the thumbnails on the other page. Just kind of fleshing that idea out a little bit more before I get to making that. I normally like to do a little fun, fancy page for my halfway mark, or at least just something to signify that this is the halfway mark. And I was going to color this, but again, I was going through one of those things where I was just like really sad and unmotivated, and I hated everything that I was making, and nothing really mattered, and we were all just gonna die anyway. So I never ended up finishing this picture. But even though it's unfinished, still kind of like the line art. These are characters from the zombie universe, and also Lincoln and Beatrix, because they're also in that universe. I actually got fan art of Lincoln, which is a character I wasn't expecting to get fan art of. Here we have more Axel sketches. This one is the picture that I actually ended up drawing in the video because the other thumbnails that I did, I just didn't really like it. So, first of all, got Andy and Luca, who aren't dating. Also, here's where the special announcement is. This is something that I'm really excited for. This is something that I've been working on for months, and I am really happy to share with you that I now have a Redbubble shop open. These are designs that I was working on. All of these things became designs, and I will put them up on the screen now. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I have things available as stickers and shirts and other things, so I will leave a link in the description below for you guys to check out that if you are interested. And if you buy anything, tag me in a picture. I would love to see what you guys are getting and how you guys are enjoying this stuff, because I've been working on it for months, and it was another one of my really weird phases in art. I just wasn't happy with anything that I was making, and so I tried drawing some fairy tale because I love fairy tale, but these drawings didn't turn out, and my pen was dying, and I was really upset because I love that pen. Here I did a sketch of Wendy in gouache, and I'm quite happy with how this turned out, and I thought that this was going to snap me out of my really weird, didn't like anything I was making phase. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Moving on, I hate it. Okay, so this character, I'll talk about him a little bit later because I was designing a character and I hate this part, so when I design him better later I'll talk about him, but for now, ignore all of this. I moved my tripod in anger. I hate this, so just don't even talk about this. Here we have some more rough sketches. This is of Yukine and... what the fuck is her name? From Norigami. Her, whose name slips my mind at the moment. Yeah, I was rewatching a couple episodes of Origami, and so I drew them. And then here I did some more sketches of the Sea Salt Trio from Kingdom Hearts, and I called them the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, because I think that suits them really well. And moving on, we have some, I don't even know what to call this, studies, I guess. Every single one of these pictures is from Pinterest, and so if you see something that looks similar to something you've seen on Pinterest, that is why, because these are all copied. I wanted to work on drawing poses that were foreshortened. For the ones that I liked the most, I just did some rough sketches of my OCs. Really like how a lot of those turned out. Here I was trying to work on more background stuff, but I was just still feeling very uninspired. Here I did a sketch of Rory, and then I did a full page of Kennedy Quinn because I don't draw her as much as I want to, and her hair is always changing. At first it was like the way that she parts her hair, it's always a mess, but here's just the page of her adorable little self. If I rotate this on this side, you will see this picture. I forgot what the place is called, but we went to this place where there's just a bunch of shops, and we sat down and I drew this because that's what I saw, and I just busted out some brush pens. I sketched it in brush pens, and when I got home I threw some watercolor over it, and I really like the way that this turns out. I think this part still is a little bit muddy even after I added the watercolor, but I really like this section. I think that this turned out really nice. Here's another shop, which isn't as detailed as this thing, obviously, but I had a little extra time, so I just sketched out that really quick. And then this is when the Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer dropped, and I was obsessed from the moment that the trailer came out, and I literally watched the trailer on repeat drawing this, and that's how I drew this. It's a little rough, but I draw, I think on the next page here, I drew the starters in Posca, which I really like. I painted the back in acrylic like I was doing earlier, and then I just sketched in Posca. I was originally going to do a speed paint of Sword and Shield, but this is actually a piece of cardstock because I didn't like the drawing that was underneath, and so I put a piece of cardstock on top of it and tried again, and I still didn't like it. So I just decided it was time to move on. I love Grookey. He's my #1 monkey baby, and he always will be. Here's that character from earlier that I said I hated. Only this time I don't hate him because he doesn't look like a pile of shit in this picture. So I mentioned earlier I made a video talking about why I have so many Pokemon OCs. In that video I talk about my relationship with fan OCs and like cringe culture and all of that stuff, and how it kind of made me upset of the fact that I liked making fan OCs. And when I posted that video, I got a lot of positive comments, and so I got inspired to make a Kingdom Hearts OC. He doesn't have a name, he doesn't have a backstory, there's only one more drawing of him after this, but I just thought it would be really fun. Don't be afraid to make fan OCs. Here I did some figure studies because it was kind of late at night and I was tired, but I was getting the urge to draw. I went on that figure drawing website that I mentioned earlier, just did some figure studies, and I could definitely recommend doing figure studies when you're in one of those moods because you're creating and learning and drawing and you don't have to think about it too much. That was quite fun. Here we have a kind of a random page. This is just something that I sketched for an intro of one of the videos. We have some accidentally saucy pictures of Andy. I didn't mean for them to come out that way, but I love the way that this one turned out. It's so cute, look at her! I remember I posted this on Instagram, and when people saw this little section, people were like, Andy and Lua confirmed! It was really funny. You guys make me laugh. Here, I was really happy with the way that Aurora's sketch turned out on the other page, so I did a bunch of sketches of Aurora and Jeremy. I draw mostly Jeremy on this spread because in general I draw mostly Aurora, and that's not right because they're supposed to be like an inseparable duo. So the fact that I draw one way more than the other isn't quite right, fam, but you know what? Whatever. So I drew a bunch of sketches of Jeremy. I really like the way this one turned out. I just really like the expression and love that guy. More messy. We have some more Jeremy and Aurora sketches, and this is when I was trying to plan my Fruits Basket video that I did because Fruits Basket is one of my most favoriteest shows. I love it so much I had to make up a word for it. These all suck, but it really do be like that sometimes, which I guess is my catchphrase, apparently, because of how much I fucking say it. This is a sketch in Posca. This is just a piece of, like, decorative paper that I had that I taped over it because of the marker bleed through. And then the Seasell Trio, which I haven't actually posted to Instagram, even though I keep telling myself that I am. I did a pencil sketch of this. I outlined it with a micron, just like really rough, sketchy line art, and then I erased it and just added an ink wash over it. This stuff is Posca again. I really like this face. I think it's really funny. I really liked Axel in Kingdom Hearts 3. Even though I agree that he had more potential, I really like how funny he was in that game. A page of Mabel and a page of Kennedy Quinn. Again, drawing Mabel just because she's fun to draw. I really like this picture where I drew her pigtails more like high up, and they're two little poofs on her head, and I love her. And then this is a picture for Kennedy Quinn's birthday that I drew. See, her hair is changing again. I like this picture of Sawyer holding her. They're just adorable, and I love them. This is another video that I filmed. This is where I was supposed to talk about my webcomic, but then my sister came and things just kind of got chaotic. It's a little bit of a messy video, but I still think that it's really fun, so I will leave that linked if you're interested. And then on this page, I just drew more webcomic characters to fit with the theme. Oh, here we hit 20,000 subscribers. As of filming this, I'm just under 23,000, but thank you so much. This is, oh man. It's still hard for me to process that this many people watch my channel, because I don't know, I don't see anything special with what I'm doing. I'm just kind of here making videos, man, but you guys really like it and are giving me so much more support than I ever thought that I would get, so thank you so much. I drew Andy being all embarrassed because of how many people adore them. Here I have some sketches of Luca and Andy not dating. They're not dating at all. They're not in love. Just ignore that. And then we have Andy with long hair, which is an absolute curse switch, so I'm just gonna turn the page. I did that same thing with acrylic, but I wanted to make it a little bit more rough, and of course did some sketches on top of it, mostly of Aurora, because, you know, nothing changes. And then some sketches, again, mostly of Aurora, because nothing changes. Also like this one quite a bit, even though his arm is oddly bent right here. Other than that, I really like it. They're adorable. This was when I was in a really weird place in life. My mental health is something that I'm pretty open with, but like at this point things were just getting kind of bad and I was like not as productive. So it was really hard for me to just make something that looked nice. So I stuck a bunch of random stuff in here that I just had lying around. And then on this page we have Happy Face. So Happy Face is a character that I made to kind of document my mental health. I haven't really been drawing him as much lately, not because I no longer have depression. No siree, that's not true, but just because it's like when I feel depressed nowadays, I just don't do anything. Here we have Bugabot and then Rad Shark dabbing saying life is meaningless pain, because, you know, I guess I self-project onto this shark. I bought these woodless colored pencils. I really like them for sketching. These pens I bought because they looked like they would be multicolored ballpoint pens, but instead they were all just black and I was so disappointed. Here I wanted to practice drawing like butts again, but this time like butts in clothing, because I've done figure studies of nude models before, so I know how to draw a naked butt pretty okay. But I never really studied drawing a butt in clothing, and it's something that I was struggling with. So I went on Pinterest and just looked up jeans and found pictures of butts and I drew them. It was really helpful. And then on the next page, we have a picture of Andy that I made solely for the purpose of drawing a butt. Because here I wasn't looking at references and kind of just like referencing my own thing in a way. And since these are referenced, I guess they were kind of referenced, but I kind of just made up the jeans. I drew a butt in a skirt, which this I actually didn't use a reference for, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out, because when I draw butts in general, like when I draw clothing on a butt, I forget that there's a butt in there. And everything just turns out like flat and not dimensional. I'll stop talking about butts now. Here is Aspen. Her head's a little bit too big here, but we can ignore that. These sketches are of another Pokemon OC. This one is based off of my Pokemon Diamond playthrough. She doesn't have a name yet, but I'm leaning on naming her Phoebe. I'm not quite sure yet. Let me know if that's a good name for her. And then these thumbnails and this sketch was originally going to be for Cairo's video, but it turned into a different video about why you shouldn't give up on art. So if that's something that you're struggling with or something that just interests you, I will have that linked for you guys to watch. Don't give up, guys. It's gonna be okay. Here I have a picture for Andy's birthday, and then I love this spread. I really like this one. He's so cute, look at him. And since he's going to be her partner Pokemon, I needed to figure out how to draw him because I've never really drawn him before. So here was just me studying him. And then over here, I was kind of playing with like the colors for this character. Aside from the color scheme, her design came very easily, but her color scheme was actually like one of the things that I struggled the most with her. So I was just playing around with that, and in the end, that's what I came up with. Here we have all of my Pokemon OCs that I have so far. So in case you're wondering how many Pokemon OCs I have 8 so far. Soon to be more. And then this is when the Fruits Basket reboot came out. I was so excited. I watched the episodes so many times already. So I was just drawing some of the characters. I drew Toru, which I don't actually need a reference when I draw Toru just because I've drawn her so many times in my life. And then we have a whole page of Kyo, because Kyo is my favorite. I really like this one down here. I think that suits him quite well. I'm still not entirely sure how to draw Kyo. in my style. But yeah, we have another page of Fruits Basket. One thing that I'm struggling with the reboot is the way that they pronounce names, because the way that they said Toru's name in the original is Toru Honda, but in the way they say it in the reboot is Toru Honda. And the original, they pronounced his name Shigure, but in the reboot they say Shigure, which is probably the correct pronunciation, so I should probably start saying it like that, but I'm still struggling with it. But we have Shigure, we have Hattori, and Ayame. And I love drawing them as like younger versions of themselves because I love just imagining them in high school and just causing chaos. And then Kisa, I really like the way that this one turned out. She's just so cute. I can't wait to see her in the reboot. Here we have more Kingdom Hearts stuff. We have Axel, we have another Axel, we have Shion, and then two little drawings of Shion, which I actually turned into a more finished illustration digitally. Here we have that OC again, who doesn't have, comment a name for him. He deserves a name. I really like his design, and if you can think of a name for him, I will draw him more. Here I was sitting at my dining room table. I drew my living room TV and like that TV stand and stuff because I want to practice drawing more objects. And then here, sitting in that same spot, turning to the right and drawing the kitchen, and then this little chair I turned to the left and I drew a chair that was on the patio. I was practicing drawing from life more, which is something that I really should be doing. Here we have a 2-page spread of Hadia. She's a OC of mine that I don't draw nearly as much as I should. She's quite a cutie. Here I used India ink for line art for the first time. I didn't use one of those like, are they called fountain pens? The really weird scratchy ones that I used before and hated. I used a watercolor brush, which I'm not sure if you're supposed to do, but I mean it worked out pretty well. This is Asim, who is Hadia's older sister. I really need to draw them more. Picture of Rory and a picture of Luca, which I quite like both of these. And then we have another background, which this one reminds me of the picture earlier that I drew of Mabel for her birthday. But you know, this one was actually my bed. Except I have a bunk bed, but I just drew the bottom part. Here I was sitting on my living room couch and just drawing what I saw. There's my sketchbook. It's a little bit, that's the same drawing. It's a little bit wacky. And a drawing of Rat Shark saying this higgity head is too biggity big, because it is indeed too big. We have more Fruits Basket, more Toru. I didn't use a reference for this again because I have just drawn her so many times in my life. Her image is just ingrained in my brain. But here I was using those woodless colored pencils to make a little bit more of a finished thing. I used only the pencils though, so that means I did sketch this and outline it in colored pencil. And I really like the way this all turned out. Toru is just so cute. Sneasel is a Pokemon that I've always really liked, but never really used. But then in my Pokemon Diamond playthrough, I am getting the opportunity to use one. Sneasel was really fun to draw. A page of Arietta because she's just too cute. I sketched all of this and did all of this in my Tombow brush pens. Then here we have a page of Mabel. I really, really love the way this one turned out. Here we are getting towards the end. I drew a page of Andy. I really like this one. And then I drew my cat because she was on my bed while I was drawing, so I would just roughly sketch her in the poses that she was doing. I had 6 goals and I achieved 4 of them. I graded myself. I got a 66%, which it's passing. And then we have the last page. I wanted to end it on Jeremy and Aurora because I started this with Jeremy and Aurora. I don't know about you, but I think that I improved a lot in this sketchbook. I finished this April 15th of 2019, so it has become a trend where I abuse my sketchbook in some way at the end of a video. Goodbye, friend. This is the sketchbook I'm currently working on. It is significantly smaller than my last one. That being said, it'll still probably take me a little bit to get my next sketchbook tour up. It's because of an idea that I have. I'm really excited to try it out. Overall, I really like this sketchbook. Not only do I think I made good progress in it, but also the sketchbook itself is really nice. This is the Strathmore Vision Mixed Media Sketchbook. I can definitely see myself getting another one of these in the future, and I'm definitely planning on it, but I promised myself I wouldn't buy any new sketchbooks until I get through the pile that I have. I do have other Strathmore sketchbooks. They are mixed media, but I don't know if they are the same as the Vision Mixed Media. I don't know if the paper is different. If you guys know, let me know. And what did we learn today? It really do be like that. Is that, I guess that's the lesson? I don't know. But that seems to be the one recurring theme in this video, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below a name for that character like I mentioned earlier. My social media is on screen now and also in the description below if you're ever curious about any of that. I am most active on Instagram, so if you have an Instagram account, I could recommend following me there. and there will be a video on screen now as well as in the iCard for you guys to watch if you are interested in. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week with another video. Bye!